Bowl 2025. Welcome to another personalized podcast from the Yards Per Fantasy team. Today we are looking at the Madden Bowl 2025. It's a 10-team dynasty league, single quarterback, IDP, which we'll figure out how to navigate that. And a special scoring setting is 1 point per completion. So we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go roster by roster, kind of give just go over the highlights of the roster, give some player analysis, some analysis on each team, any advice that we would give to that team to either improve or move forward. So let's just get to it.
And if the team sucks, we're going to tell you.
Oh, we are going to tell you. We don't hold back. And if anybody from the league is in the chat, let us know you're here. Let us know your team name. Roast us if you want. We're here for it. All right, so we're going to start with the Chippahawks. I probably mispronounced that, but get used to that. All right, so at quarterback, we got Bo Nix, Brock Purdy. We got the ghost of Anthony Richardson as well. At running back, we got Alvin Kamara. We got Marshawn Lloyd, Jordan Mason, Kendre Miller. I think there's a few Kendre Miller truthers still out there. There might be one on the show tonight, maybe. I don't know if he's given up yet. Joe Mixon, Tyrone Tracy. We'll see if he's going to keep that job or not. Wide receiver, we got Stephon Diggs and Mario Douglas. Deontay Johnson actually found a job this year. It's going to be interesting to see if he carves out a role in Cleveland. We got Ladd McConkey, Darnell Mooney, Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze. Xavier Worthy is kind of an interesting second-year wide receiver. What's his role going to be like with Rashee Rice back healthy? We got Evan Ingram, Theo Johnson, Brenton Strange, a couple of breakout tight end candidates to go along with the old man Evan Ingram. And then we get to the IDP, which we're not going to cover the IDP very much because the three of us really aren't IDP guys. So we're just going to focus on the standard offensive players, and we're just going to praise. Everybody's got great IDP. All right, what stands out?
Yeah, everybody completely nailed the IDP for sure.
All right, so we hit the highlights on this team. What stands out to you? How do you feel about this roster?
Actually, just knowing the size of the rosters in this league, my knee-jerk reaction is that this has got to be a pretty competitive team. I like Nix and Purdy, and he's got a lot of depth at running back. I think Jordan Mason might even end up being the starter by the end of the year. Call that a hot take if you will.
I was just going to say that's a hot take.
And then you've got some older dudes like Diggs, but they're mixed in with some younger guys like Ladd McConkey, and apparently, supposedly, word out of Cincinnati is Jermaine Burton's turning the corner. So that could be a boon. Although he's probably going to be a boom or bust guy. Tight ends, I love the situation there. I don't know that Ingram is going to be as successful in Denver as he was in Jacksonville. I think people are drafting him based on Jacksonville. But yeah, and as far as IDP goes,
fantastic.
If you can swing a cat and hit both Joey Bosa and TJ Watt, then you're doing pretty good.
It's pretty good. Joey Bosa will give you four games.
That's right. Games. Yeah. And he might have a sack in each one.
Maybe.
All right. What do you think, Dane?
Well, I think I'll just touch on the IDP and get that out of the way. Same thing. Joey Bosa, he's going to be productive while he's on the field. If he isn't, in the blue tent or on the sidelines, your linebackers look pretty good. I do like having Bo Nix and Brock Purdy as kind of safety blanket quarterbacks in this league with the extra boost to the completions. Having that stack with Evan, having that stack with Evan Ingram is also nice as well. I think I'm optimistic being a Broncos fan, so there might be some bias in there. I think that Peyton is going to be able to utilize him, and that's a fun little stack to have in one QB. While you also have Anthony Richardson, where he probably is nothing. But when it's one QB, you're looking for some of those spike games. And if he can be on the field, I think he's going to provide those a little bit. Maybe he takes a step over the offseason and he gets more playing time than we think he's going to. Looking at his running backs, I like Alvin Kamara. I like Jordan Mason, like you guys had said. Those might be pieces that if you follow the contention early, maybe that's somebody that you move some of these older vets that you can pair with Stephon Diggs and go and get another handcuff running back and maybe get some picks in the future to help build a war chest and turn this team into something in the next few years.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm more optimistic on Evan Ingram than Sam is as well. I recorded a video yesterday about the players that nobody wants to draft this year, but you should be drafting. And Evan Ingram is one of the guys on my list. You can kind of just, if you miss out on those early tight ends, you can get Evan Ingram later. And I like pairing him with these two, high upside, young, possible breakout candidate tight ends and Theo Johnson and Brenton Strange. So I like the way you've built this roster for the most part. I agree with what you said about quarterback, especially with the extra point per completion. Brock Purdy, he's probably going to throw the ball quite a bit this year. The defense is probably going to be subpar once again this year, and they're going to have to lean on Brock Purdy, especially if Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy for the full season. It's going to be a lot of pass attempts for Brock Purdy, and that's going to give you some completions. My only issue here is I don't know who I'm going to start week to week between Brock Purdy and Bo Nix. I guess we're just going to have to ride the hot hand and play the matchups. But overall, yeah, I agree. I like this team a lot. I think we got off to a good start here. Oh, the one thing we don't show on here is their draft picks. I don't know where we can see each team's draft picks. Usually we kind of look at if they still have all their first or if they've traded away.
And these guys haven't done their rookie draft yet. Is that correct?
August 31st is when it's set. That's the latest I've ever seen a rookie draft set, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's also there's a little bit of a cautionary tale there, in that you got to make sure that you're not using too much information from preseason to dictate your rookie draft. Just because Cam Scatterbo carried the ball 15 times. But Tracy didn't even play. That doesn't mean Scatterbo's the starter. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily need to bump him up your board. But there are some insights that you guys will be able to take advantage of that a lot of other leagues can't.
Yeah, I think that's right. You just pay attention to the news and you trust your process that you had going into post-draft where we had landing spots and you watch the profiles of them in college. And I think you kind of have to hold true to that because you're right. We see a lot of outliers come out of preseason games.
All right.
Mark, as if we look under trades, we could see draft picks.
Where's trades? I found transactions.
You can tell how often we use MFL.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a horrible platform for this exact reason. Yeah, I can see that this team has made 4 trades this offseason. They've all only involved draft picks. But I'm not seeing their slate of picks. I don't understand. It's got to be somewhere.
We'll find it.
We'll figure it out by the end of the show. All right. Sam, you want to take charge of the next team?
Yeah, sure. Let's move on. We're going to go down to the Hurricanes. Starting off under center, we got Jared Goff, and then a lot of just garbage. You got Hendon Hooker. Who knows if he's ever going to take over, or if when Jared leaves, if they're just going to draft somebody else. Will Levis has been pushed to the side. Kenny Pickett. It's funny you mentioned Deontay Johnson in the last roster, because Deontay Johnson was the one saying Kenny Pickett was going to win the job in Cleveland. And I'm sure that that's a Pittsburgh connection kind of thing. He probably wants him to win the job so he'll get the ball more. But I also heard NFL Rumors published something the other day that the Saints might actually be interested in Kenny Pickett. And my answer to that is, how many Kenny Pickett's can you have? Apparently not enough.
Let's see. They got Tyler Shuck, they got Spencer Rattler, they got Jake Hayner. Why not add Kenny Pickett? It's the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, add the namesake of all those guys. Okay, we got a ton of running backs, led by Achane, and then you've got Nick Chubb. That's a nobody, as far as I'm concerned. Is very, very elderly at the running back position. So he's going to definitely want to look for picking somebody up in the draft. And this is the right draft to do it, to try to get some running backs, because, Gainwell, Eckler's almost done. Chubb's done. Rasheen Ali, I think, has promise. Isaiah Davis will probably never be beyond what he is. And Miles Sanders, I mean, who even knows? And, we're probably giving up on Rashawn Johnson at this point, even though
don't say that.
Everybody's fallen in love.
One more
and that's
year.
the kiss of death. The fantasy community is all of a sudden, because of Ben Johnson, in love with Rashawn Johnson. And I think the rookie has a better shot at being the Thunder in that lineup.
Well, there was a quote today from Ryan Poles, the GM, unprompted. Let me see if I can pull it. He talked about Rashawn Johnson. He said, Rashawn, really looking forward to him playing a physical brand of football that we know he has. I think that kind of role was a little bit out of whack last year. I think he's going to have more of a physical role. There's still life. Leave the light on. One more year.
Okay, I mean, I've always been a fan.
Me too. I know. We talked about him on our sleeper show a couple of times last year.
He only has to fight off Kyle Monangai.
Right.
And I don't think that's saying much. So those guys can easily split chairs, and whoever
I'm more
shows some
athletic than
production
Kyle Monangai.
That's right. There you go.
Dude, Monangai can run away from people, man.
Yeah, like 5-year-olds.
Just stop it. At tight end, it's feast or famine, mostly famine. Njoku, it really depends on who quarterback is under center. We saw him do well with Flacco and do not well with pretty much anybody else. And the IDP looks fantastic.
IDP is great.
I mean, really, really, absolutely killing it here in the IDP. And with that in mind, I'll throw that to Dane.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I see George Karlaftis. That's a name I recognize. I see Derek Stingley Jr. out of Houston. Yeah. I think he's going to have a really big year for the Texans. Harrison Smith. So those are three pieces that I'm going to go out on a limb and say that those are kind of your cornerstones of your IDP league. yeah, looking at this team overall, you have Goff, who's serviceable in one QB. You don't really have anybody that's going to have that high upside play as a quarterback, which is fine. You have a hammer in Devon A-Chain, who I think is going to absolutely smash this year for the Dolphins. I really like that piece. I'm seeing a couple comments in here about Warren and ETN. Well, I think they got work to do because I am really high on Bichelle Tootin. I think that he can be a hammer running back through the tackles, and he's going to be able to have those pass catching chops and bust to the outside and fit into Liam Cohen's offense. Jalen Warren, he's not taking anything from Caleb Johnson. The way Arthur Smith and Tomlin have set up this team, it is totally going to feed into Caleb Johnson.
Yes.
I agree. The good news for Warren is he's not going to lose out on touches that he had with Najee there.
That's right.
He's going to play that same role, which means he's still helpful in fantasy for sure. But he's too small to be a lead back, a bell cow back.
I think he's there. I just don't think he's able to do what they want to do. He couldn't replace Najee. They went and got Caleb Johnson. It's pretty obvious that they're not going to use Jalen Warren for what the Steelers want to be able to put on the field.
Yeah.
So I found the draft picks.
Yeah.
And this team, so it looks like they do like 10 rounds. So I'm guessing it's involving veterans as well.
And the IDP really stretches it out too.
Oh, and the IDP as well. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now looking at this team, you have two nice pieces. It's only start two wide receivers. So you have Justin Jefferson.
Right.
You have Rashee Rice. You can put DJ Moore into your flex. But other than that, you hope Cedric Tillman becomes something. But you don't know who's going to be throwing him the ball.
Right.
They have three wide receiver options. They have David Njoku. The Browns are going to run the ball. That's their identity. So it's going to be kind of the Quinshon Judkins show. But I am high on Tillman, and I think he goes out and shows something this year.
He doesn't have Jameis to bail him out this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, draft picks. So no first round, no second round, no third round, no fourth round, no fifth round. So we start with the sixth round with this team. So there's no building for the future because we don't have a first, second, or third in 2027 as well. So we're all in for 2025. And I'm not sure that this team is quite equipped to contend in 2025. Except for the IDP. The IDP is fantastic.
The IBDP is awesome. And also, by the way, I really like Cedric Tillman, regardless of who's at quarterback. With Elijah Moore gone, and he flashed a little bit last year. I think he's going to be a nice foil to Judy. I mean, even if the quarterback sucks, they got to throw it somewhere. And Flacco has demonstrated he's able to do it sometimes, although in Indianapolis he fell on his face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jerry Jeudy is what he showed us last year with Jameis Winston. So, I'm supportive of anybody else who can step up and have at least a chance to be the guy in that receiving game after Njoku.
I agree, and even that we saw Deontay Johnson crash out last year and play musical chairs on teams. He's still going to bring some kind of a value. He's going to be on that field. So I think just naturally he's going to cap the ceiling of all of those other pass catchers.
And when T. Higgins misses 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, make sure you plug in Mike Gesicki.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You guys ready to move on to the next team?
Absolutely.
Let's go to the future.
Let's do it.
First thing, looking at this team, he's called the future, but buddy, there is some news from the past that Derek Carr is no longer playing. So I think that's a guy you got to log into MFL, whether you can't find your roster, like I wouldn't be able to or not. I think that's a guy you go and drop. You open up a roster spot. You have Saquon Barkley. You have Zeke on there still, brother. Open up your app. You have Barkley. You have Henry. I'm happy with that. On to the next. You have Jamar Chase. You have Tyreek Hill, who I don't think is going to bounce back. Generally, we see guys in their 30s. They're not going back to form. He had a tough year last year. Yeah, he's lost some weight. He's running 100-yard sprints. He had an injury, but I don't think it's coming back. I don't think we're ever going to see that ceiling of him being a top 5 wide receiver ever again. You have Debo, you have Shakir. Great. Those are pieces that you're going to be able to dump into your flex spot because of the lack of depth at running back. You have Hawkinson set. You have Jonnu. Might be able to flex him a bit. IDP, you got Nick Benito. Awesome. Za'Darius Smith, free agent. This guy's got to look at his roster and do some work here.
So I'm looking at the transactions. This team has made one trade this offseason. They gave up David Montgomery and Puka Nacua, and they received Saquon Barkley and Deebo Samuel.
And who?
Deebo.
Ooh. That's pretty pricey for Saquon.
For someone who calls his team the future, he likes these old guys.
Who even knows what's going to happen with Deebo at this point?
Yeah, he's toast.
Yeah. Dude, these guys are talking about Hurricanes have 3 rounds in the first pick, or 3 picks in the first round, but we don't see it. We see round 6, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
We have Chiba Hawks. He's got 3 picks in the first round, 3 picks in the second round. So we see that now that we had some difficulties trying to navigate this site. But if we're reading it wrong, please, by all means, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, it's pretty clear on at least whatever we're looking at that it starts in the 6th round for the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, some of the guys on this roster, I just don't even understand why they're there.
Well, I mean, the rosters are huge, so there's going to be quite a few guys.
But some of these guys haven't been relevant in years. Like, why? What are we doing?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I know that Michael is big mad in the chat.
I think he's the Hurricanes.
He's big mad. He's like, yo, I have all these picks. If you say so, Michael.
So, Michael, let us know. Are you Chiba Hawks? Are we reading this wrong? Because that'd be great. Because NFL is something that we don't use. I do it for eliminators, but I am exclusively on the Sleeper platform. So please, brother, let us know.
Well, anyway, if you got 3 first rounds, then in that case, you're doing pretty good. I don't care which team it is. So, if it was what was it, Chibahawks or no? Yeah. Hurricanes. He's Hurricanes, I think. That was the one where I was slagging a lot of the running backs. So if he's got some first round picks, he's at least going to be able to hit on one real solid running back in the first. Then I think.
Yeah. All right. I'm not impressed with the future. I think it's time to put some guys on the block.
The future is bleak.
Yeah, it's not looking good, man. I mean, even just look at the quarterback room. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, even Dak, Derek Carr.
Well, I mean, at least they're starters, though. I mean, because the previous team was like Jared Goff and nobody. So, anyway, yeah. If I was the future, I'd be selling pieces for.
He's got his picks, though. He does have his picks.
Yeah, that's right.
So at least there's some hope there. But I'm putting. Are we putting Jamar Chase on the block on this team? Are we that at that point? Or is that like our one guy we're just going to build around him and see if we can?
I don't think you can put Chase on the block unless you start a rebuild and you're right on the precipice of possibly being in contention. Like you've got some young guys that are very promising, then you put them on there, capitalize, and add the last couple pieces you need.
Yeah, that's fair. I think what I would be looking to do, I know they just traded for Saquon. We're probably going to try to trade Saquon at some point. We're probably going to try to trade Derrick Henry at some point. Tyreek Hill, if he gets a little flash at the beginning of the year, looks like his old self for a minute. I think we could put Tyreek Hill on the block. Deebo Samuel, same thing. And then we can build around Jamar Chase and whatever you can get back for those pieces. At least you have those pieces that you can sell.
Yeah, that's right. Looking at this team right now, like you can limp it through with Dak as your quarterback in one QB. You have Barkley, you have Henry, Chase. You might need to go and get some flex help, but there's trades there. Going back to this draft pick because it's really bugging me. All we see for the first year is 2026. So I understand the guys are getting upset about that, but I don't know why we're not seeing anything from 25.
Okay. I didn't even notice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where do we see 2025 picks?
Well, 305 Cubes just put in the chat the upcoming first round picks for August 31st. And the first one.
There we go. I think I got it. I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Okay. The first one I'm seeing that I'm interested to get to is the next team we're going to talk about, because I'm pretty sure DeFish won last year, and they're drafting second in the first round this year. So they must have pulled a trade at somewhere along the lines. Did you put that in the chat, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know if the link worked or not. Did it work?
Yeah, looks like
it's here now.
Okay. So at least you can navigate by each team. Let's see. All right, so we do have the Hurricanes. They got the 109, the 209, the 305, the 309, the 904, the 1004. All right. He's already left the chat, but bring him back. And the future. Future. We don't have a first, second, or a third.
Ouch.
That just makes things even worse for this team here.
Yeah. Now looking at the next team, like Sam said, DeFish, he's got a stacked team. There's so many quarterbacks there holding value. His running backs are elite. He's got Marv, he's got CeeDee Lamb, he's got Drake London. It doesn't really matter what you have at tight end. You have more than serviceable options that are Pat Freiermuth, Travis Kelce, Dalton Kincaid. And he's walking in with 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 first-round picks coming in just to add to that team. Like this is going to be a team that's a juggernaut for years to come. So that's a really good job there.
Well, this seems to usually happen when we do these shows. The person who pays for the league usually has the best team because they just want us to brag about their team, and it looks like to be the case once again. We never see the guy with the worst team in the league say, "Hey, I want these guys to talk about our league."
To be fair, whoever paid for the league always gets our endorsement as the future champion anyway. So
got that little tip money.
Yeah, just keep that coming back. Slide that 50 under the table. Yeah, this is I can't complain about it because even the running backs, he's only running 4 deep, but he's got quality running backs, so he doesn't need to stack a million of them like the previous teams did. Wide receiver, he's obviously familiar with dynasty, so obviously he's been picking up wideouts for a couple years in a row, which I'm assuming this league is a couple years old. Yeah. So and
Goes
some
back to 2005.
unrealized potential at tight end. When you consider Kincaid, I still believe someday he's going to come around. I don't know if Josh Allen just doesn't like throwing to the tight end or what, but he seems to find Schultz quite a bit. Or what's his name?
Dawson
The
Knox.
other guy, the old dude.
Dawson Knox, Dalton Schultz, same thing.
Yeah, Dawson Knox. That's the one.
Yeah, like this team sitting here with this many draft picks, like if you want to go and address your tight end need, I'm taking those picks right now because you are, like I said, sustainable for the future. I'm going and throwing a massive offer to try and get Trey McBride, or I'm trying to get Brock Bowers. You know, it's one of those, or you go and get Jamar Chase, and your wide receivers of the future are CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and then you can flex in Drake London, and you still don't have to make any roster decisions, right? It's set it and forget it.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, it's in such good situation right now that like 2026 picks are not of your concern. I would also try to move your 26s back a year for 27s. You know, when I think the draft class is better. But B, there's no reason for you to have to rush into this year's draft and fill any holes.
How about this trade that he made? He gave up Jalen Waddle, a fourth and a fifth, and he received a 2026 third, a 2027 first, a 2028 first. Two firsts and a third for Jalen Waddle.
God damn.
No wonder why. He's in this league.
Is that a Miami fan that traded for him?
I don't know, but Duff Fish was the one who traded him away.
Unbelievable.
So
that is a haul for Jalen Waddle.
So you mentioned this league is a couple years old. It shows on the homepage the champions year by year. It's all the way back to 2005.
2005, oh, wow. 20 years. How old are you guys?
Old enough to be using MFL.
Old enough, huh? So true.
No wonder why. It makes so much more sense now.
It's so true. See, he said he tried to get Bowers. Yeah. Bowers, they're not giving him up.
All right.
We're old. They're old as dirt, Mark says. Well, I'm right there with you. I could be in this league, so if that makes you feel any better.
I don't think I was even playing fantasy football in 2005.
What's that?
I hadn't even started playing fantasy football yet in 2005.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I wasn't born yet.
No, unfortunately, I was very, very born. But all right, should we move on?
Can we move on?
So far, the Fish, the clear favorites for now and like the next 5 years.
Head and shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, how about the Kings? So the Kings quarterback, we got Lamar Jackson, and then it's kind of just a bunch of crap with Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. But I mean, you got Lamar Jackson. You know, hopefully he stays healthy, and you got a piece. You'll find somebody to fill a bye week. Running back, Bucky Irving, Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker. Wide receiver, we got Jalen Coker, who's a favorite of our sleeper show from last year. Josh Downs, Jerry Jeudy, who we talked about earlier, Ricky Pearsall, breakout candidate maybe. Calvin Ridley, quarterback upgrade. Jackson Smith and Jigba, quarterback downgrade? ? Cortland Sutton, then wide receiver, the aforementioned Dalton Schultz / Dawson Knox. We got Jake Ferguson, and then of course the IDP looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the IDP is killing it. He does
All right,
have Michael
so
Parsons.
he's no the fish, that's for sure. But we got some good pieces here, especially a running back.
Yeah, he does. You have Lamar Jackson, who is a cheat code. If he's on a bye week, you're sliding in Russell Wilson. That's fine for a week. You have 3 stud running backs, and yes, I include Kenneth Walker in there because I am very high on him. On our Dynasty DGen shows, I've been gassing him up quite a bit. Sam, you know where to shove that thumb, and it ain't down. But Kenneth Walker, when he's going into that Kubiak offense, as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to smash. The efficiency metrics are just crazy for how he runs in an outside zone, and that is what Kubiak loves to run.
Is that before or after he twists his ankle?
Well,
You watch-
it's
you watch
not
him out.
ankle. It'll be the oblique. He gets the oblique every year.
It's a core injury. But he's got my boy JSN at wide receiver. You have Calvin Ridley. I think those are 2 very good pieces to plug into your wide receiver slots. Josh Downs, I am high on heading into this year. He can slide into your flex if you need to. Jake Ferguson, I actually think, has a bigger year this year with the Cowboys. I really like Schottenheimer. I like Dak coming back. I think they're going to have a very high passing offense because we don't know what that running back room is going to bring to them. We might see Jaden Blue and Moffa running the backfield by, week 11. You don't really know. So I think they're going to be airing it out. They're going to feed CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson is a really nice complement to that piece.
He does better with Dak in general. I mean, you saw the complete difference. He just disappeared when Dak disappeared last year.
Well, he needs the passing volume because he's not a good tight end on his own.
That's right.
How about this trade? He traded away his 2026 first round pick and a third in 2026, and he received the 104 in 2025. I like that deal a lot.
I like it. That's a good deal.
Who we drafted on the 104?
I don't know.
On this team, I'm taking a shot on either Hunter or Tet.
Yeah.
I think Hunter's going to go out and smash. I'm not worried about him playing on both sides of the ball. You go and make a statement like that to take him at the second overall pick this year. We're going to see him on the offensive side of the ball with Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of those wideouts because the only issue that's really jumping out at me, I should say, is that there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs in the wide receiver room. Like if Coker can continue on what he was doing last year, if Downs realizes the potential that everybody is putting on him now with a different quarterback. If Keenan Allen gets signed by somebody decent, if Cortland Sutton can score 13 touchdowns again, you know what I mean? You just need some consistency, and you can drop Wan'Dale Robinson. He's useless.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He's a PPR fraud, right? The targets are there. He can't do anything after the catch. And I forget the amount of targets that he had last year, but what he
was like 100
was crazy.
It was like 165, and he had like 300 yards receiving.
I'm dropping Luke McCaffrey before I drop Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking to hopefully upgrade the tight end position one way or another. And yeah, I agree. I think we got to target wide receiver with that 104 pick. I would even consider trading for a veteran receiver at that 104. Why wait for the rookie who is an unknown? I think this team has some pieces with Lamar, with those running backs. You pair, a good starting wide receiver with a Jackson Smith-Njigba and a Cortland Sutton. You have a pretty solid top 3 receivers. I think we can make some noise this year.
Well, let me ask you this though. Is there what we're used to looking at as far as rookie drafts? Is there a chance that that Travis Hunter is going first overall in this league?
I mean, anything could happen when you have your rookie draft at August 31st. You know, the preseason training camp, all those storylines.
But I'm saying because
change
they're
completely.
IDP also. Is he going to get the two-way stats?
Oh,
That's a really good point.
That is a good point. Yeah. That's a really good point. You probably.
Oh, and
That's
Mark
not-
says,
It's
Mark
not
says
super
no.
flex. Well, Mark is probably sitting the 102. So
Mark says no, so he's probably either got the 101 or he knows that Genty's going.
yeah. You can't take him over Genty. But you never know what happens in the preseason.
I mean, you could in
tears
a
ACLs.
two-way league. I could make a case for it. Absolutely. I already tried to make a case for it. In non-IDP.
All right, the bidding war for the 104 has begun. Yeah, Mark's got number 1, so he's saying no, he's not taking Travis Hunter.
Okay.
All right.
So
There we
Mark's,
go.
so Mark's taking Jenny.
Yeah, rest of the
Jenny.
league, do with that what you will.
All right.
All right, my Konos.
Mykonos.
No,
That's I was trying to think of the show when I was reading these, and I'm pretty sure that's off Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yeah?
If you guys are familiar with that show, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, whose turn is that? I don't remember. Is it mine?
Sure. Let her rip.
All right. Mykonos. Joe Burrow at quarterback, along with Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. I kind of already like the quarterback. We got Chase Brown. This guy Sam's gonna love this team. It's Bengal. Chase Brown at running back. You also got James Cook, who Sam loves for some reason. We got Isaac Guarendo, who's gonna be the league winner once Christian McCaffrey goes down at one point. We got Dave Montgomery, Aaron Jones, wide receiver position. Looking really good, strong at the top with Nico Collins.
Say the last running back, damn it.
Jalen Wright. I like Jalen Wright.
Yeah.
I like Jalen Wright. I just made a video about Jalen Wright. I think there's still a chance for him. Nico Collins, Amari Cooper is dead. Definitely the Bengals fan. Andre Yoshivas, Jacoby Myers. This is the guy who traded away Saquon Barkley for Puka Nacua. He's also got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He also traded for Jalen Waddle. He traded those 2 first-round picks. Don't forget about that. Then we got the dusty Packers receivers, Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks. Then we got league winner George Kittle, along with breakout candidate Isaiah Likely, plus Trey McBride. Who were we just talking about that needs to trade for a tight end? This is the team you need to come knocking to. And then don't forget, IDP is looking so good.
Oh, the IDP is awesome. He's also has Obosa.
Does he have any Bengals?
Um,
I don't see it.
No.
In IDP,
he's
are
in the
you
clear.
kidding me?
I should have known.
There you go.
I mean,
really
even one of the last guys had Jermaine Pratt, and he was like, "Okay, good, he's gone from the Bengals."
Is this our second place team so far?
I
I don't know. I like this team a lot.
no. I think Mykonos is going to be fighting with Kings for that second spot.
Yeah.
I really like Kings. I love that Puka Nacua trade.
Yeah, I do too.
Maybe you fumbled it a bit when you made that Jalen Waddle trade, but I do think he comes for a bounce back.
Agreed.
Jonnu Smith is gone. I think he kind of ate into those targets where we primarily saw Waddle do that. We also saw Waddle be a short yardage yak guy, but we also saw him with his route running press and be a deeper target as well. So it's what McDaniels and Tua are going to be able to do with that team. But I think Jalen Waddle is going to be on the up and up.
He went from 1 year, he had 1,400 air yards and 18 yards per reception. The year before that, he averaged under 10 yards per reception. He can do both. He can be the high volume guy. He can be the big play guy. I'm definitely ready for a bounce back year for Jalen Waddle. Especially, we talked about earlier, Tyreek Hill might be dust. He might be dust. He might quit the team. He might be traded. Who knows what's going to happen to Tyreek Hill? As long as Tua stays healthy and Jalen Waddle stay healthy, I think they're in for a bounce back for Jalen Waddle, even though that whole coaching staff's going to get fired.
I think really
that's going to be the thing. I mean, I think if that coaching staff is going to save themselves at all, they need to get off of Tyreek Hill. You not necessarily get rid of them, but start drawing up plays for the other playmakers in that offense.
Well,
instead of trying to force him the ball.
You know who's going to save their job? Darren Waller.
Yeah, Darren Waller, man. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, I think the major thing in question for this team is that running back room. We're going to see Chase Brown take a step in that offense. We've heard Coach speak on Twitter and on NFL Network that Chase Brown is primed for a bigger role. I think there's going to be a bit of regression with James Cook. He wasn't all that efficient. Yes, he has pass catching chops, but the last year I think it was definitely an outlier for his touchdown production. And then you just have to hope that Aaron Jones and David Montgomery are going to stay healthy and productive.
We got no picks in the first 3 rounds. Do we care? Seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Why, Michael? You got some more? Because I just ran out.
All right. I lost it. There we go. I really like this team a lot. We're really strong at running back. We got some really good pieces of wide receiver. Tight end is absolutely loaded. I believe you can start multiple tight ends in this league with the flex. There's going to be weeks where you're starting maybe even all 3 of those guys. Caleb Williams, are we going to get Caleb Williams that we thought we were going to get from the 101 last year? Is he
eventually
a bust?
No, I don't think he's not going to be a bust.
I don't think so.
I don't know if the big breakout will come this year already, but I trust in Ben Johnson a little bit.
He couldn't be set up any better.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's got all the weapons in the world. He's got an offensive guru.
Fix the old line.
Yeah. So I think, and honestly, the running game is not that great. I know you're real high on Swift, Dane, but the running back is not blowing anybody away in Chicago. So I think that was a problem last year too, is Caleb trying to do a little bit too much, trying to play hero ball.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's got to reel him in, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to make the easy plays. I don't think we ever see him get in to be, a top 5 quarterback because the rushing ceiling isn't there. And until Caleb learns how to mature a little bit and take those easy throws or throw them away and not force a sack or always go for the home run play, I don't think he's a bust, but I think we're going to see him kind of like a low-end QB1, high-end QB2 type situation.
You think he's like a Trevor Lawrence type?
No, I think he's a tier above Trevor Lawrence, but I think he's going to be scoring similar to what Kyler Murray scores. He might be Bo Nix or what we want Drake May to be.
All right.
Man, you say Kyler Murray around me, that's the kiss of death. I can't stand that.
Ready to move on? I like this team a lot. It's going to be my dark horse for sure.
I love, in particular, their having Winfield and Kyle Hamilton as their safeties.
That's gonna push them over the edge.
And well, yeah, of course. And look, Jonathan Brooks just chilling on the IR.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see him in 4 or 5 years.
2028. RB1.
You want to talk about the Orange Men, guys?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Even though the last team had plenty of Orange Men on it. If you know what I'm saying.
We know what you're saying, yeah.
Okay, the Orangemen. We have Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray. He's got rushing galore, or rushing capability galore, as well as Hurts since the quarterback sneak rule didn't get struck down. I hate the tush push. It's
Really?
such a
keep it.
It's such a dumb name.
Well, we can change the name. What do you want to name it?
Call it the brotherly shove.
We get time.
Brotherly shove is fine, sure. I'd like to call it a quarterback sneak. Could we just call it a quarterback sneak?
That's no fun. That's not catchy.
Anyway, so he's the guy is even with my bias against Kyler Murray, he's loaded at quarterback for sure.
We got a Bengal.
Huh?
We got a Bengal.
Oh, good. I can't wait to get there. We got Tank Bigsby, who I am in the minority on, but I am a big fan of. And Alex's guy, Ray Davis, is there. Khalil Herbert can go bye-bye. Chuba Hubbard, Alexander Madison, bye-bye. Zach Moss.
Got a Bengal.
Zach Moss is probably a cut candidate on that team.
100%. Taj Brooks season.
Shipley, who I'm a huge fan of.
Yes. He's one of the most underrated handcuffs in fantasy right now. Nobody's talking about him. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
AJ Dillon, really? We're going to do it with AJ Dillon?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I think looking at this team, you go and you have three quarterbacks with such high ceilings in a 1 QB league. If you're, you kind of alluded to earlier with the 101 what you were doing. So if you add Genty to this with Chuba, you trade one of those quarterbacks to address some other needs. I think at running back, if you have Chuba and you have Genty, you have Tank, that's more than fine for me. I'm going and trying to get some kind of a big name player as a wide receiver. I really like Devontae Adams for this year. Brandon Ayuk is going to start slow. He might not be anything at all this year. Chris Olave has a question mark. He's not getting hospital balls anymore, but the damage might already be done.
Is he not, though? Because, I mean, he's got a lot of young quarterbacks there. So the question is he still getting hospital balls?
Well, we'll see. But, I mean, that was Derek Carr's forte. So
yeah,
hopefully that's off the menu a little bit for him. I would definitely be addressing the wide receiver need by trying to move some of the value that I have tied up in quarterback right now.
Yeah, we get 2 first-round picks here. We got the 101 and the 110.
Yeah.
I should mention also that I think we're learning a little too much about Michael right now, but he says it's called the butt fuck. Oh, the butt tuck. The butt tuck.
Holy. Maybe did they already Uber you that angel dust they were talking about?
Little Freudian slip there.
Oh man. I noticed the IDP on this team is
really good.
Well, it must be because it's not nearly as deep as every other team.
He's got Dexter Lawrence, he's got Jared Verse, he's got Will Anderson. Like, yeah, those are pieces. I don't know how many players you start in your IDP, but
I also can read.
Okay, good. Well, I guess I'm just a step ahead. I'm on sleeper time and you're still stuck on MFL.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, he's I guess, I mean, just looking at the points scored for last year, looks like it's pretty well balanced on the defensive side. The safeties did well. But yeah, like I said, this is a much thinner defensive core than any of the other teams we've seen thus far. So you must be pretty comfortable with where he's at in that regard.
We need some receiver help bad.
Yeah, I think that summarizes it well.
Yeah, I mean, Ayuk's probably not going to do anything this year, and Olave, I mean, gets a headache walking down the street. And Joshua Palmer, if you think he's going to do something in Buffalo that he didn't do in Los Angeles, I got a bridge to sell you.
Well, he's going to do more than Keon Coleman. He's taking that Keon Coleman role. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that how much is that saying?
Well,
that's true.
It's enough. It's enough that you have a redundant skill set there with Palmer and Coleman.
Right.
I think Elijah Moore's a little dark horse in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is. After Shakir.
Well, I mean, if anybody in this league that needs a quarterback comes knocking, I'm very willing to give up Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, whoever you want, can get them. We need some receivers. We definitely need receivers.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is on the block right now. I don't know if he knows it, but I know it.
We're going to get the most out of Jalen Hurts, other than Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
I'm assuming we want to keep Jaden Daniels, but if we can get significantly more for Jaden Daniels than I'm going to get for Jalen Hurts, I'm going to do it.
That's it. I'm fine with all three of these quarterbacks. That whoever can bring me the biggest return, they're gone. Right?
Yeah. Start the bidding war now.
Yep.
But put up your best receiver. Come get him. All right.
Yeah. Who's the guy that had Jared Goff? Go knocking on his door.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to move on to old school?
Man, so ready.
So ready. All right. Old school. We are quarterbacked by Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Michael Penix, and Bryce Young. This team could maybe go knocking. Although I think we can get Justin Fields. Can we get Justin Fields top 8 season? I think we can.
Justin Fields is going to score some points this year.
I mean, he's going to lose out on that 1 point per completion bonus. It's probably going to end up like in the negative, but he's going to make up for it for his rushing yards. 1,200 rushing yards. I think we can get there.
Does it count? Do you get the 1 point completion if you complete it to the other team?
I am really excited.
If you do, if you have the IDP who picked it off.
I'm really excited to see Justin Fields in that New York system with Ingstren, who Aaron Glenn brought over. He kind of seemed like he really settled down Jared Goff with the Lions, and I'm hoping that we see a little bit of that rub off onto Justin Fields. Obviously, the rushing element is there, but it's going to help with his processing on the field, and he can make some of those easier throws again rather than just trying to be a run-first quarterback all the time.
Yeah, I'm in for Justin Fields this year. I think that Jets offense, sneaky fun for fantasy. It's very condensed. So even though we might not get a ton of passing volume in that offense, it's all just going to go to Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
All right.
Well, yeah, and you're gonna get easy completions to Breece Hall, who's gonna make you look good by running with it. You know what I mean? I mean, he had 76 targets last year, and that was with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't like to dump it off.
Well, I think you'd probably dump it down more than Justin Fields will.
Maybe.
Justin Fields wants to run. If he's not going to dump it, he's going to run. Either way, it still gives him a good weapon out of that backfield, one way or another.
Well, I think, but Breece Hall probably has more plays drawn up for him, where Justin's supposed to throw it before he runs.
That's fair. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I mean, we saw Breece Hall's rookie season. I mean, he caught balls down the field. I'd like to see that brought back a little bit more. He can be a playmaker out of that backfield. I hope the new coaching staff unlocks that from him.
I'd like to address this comment on the screen from Manuel. I agree. And I think that's the issue with Justin Fields in fantasy is he's always going to put up points in fantasy football. But the question is how long he's going to have the job in the NFL. if he can't win games. So he is hot garbage, I think, as an NFL quarterback.
Well, yeah, there's
but he's
definitely
got
a
that
disconnect between real life Justin Fields and fantasy Justin Fields. But we have that safety net knowing that it's Tyrod Taylor as the next man up. It's going to take a lot for them to turn to Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
at this point in his career.
This is true. I do agree with that. But also, I do hate Ohio State, so I just had to throw that out there.
So, don't you live in Ohio? Aren't you supposed to like Ohio?
You know what? Ohio, there's two kinds of people in Ohio: people that like Ohio
Bengals
State
fans?
and people that hate them.
All right.
And most of the people that like them are in Columbus, and that's it.
All right, let's look at running back. We got Braylon Allen, we got J.K. Dobbins, Raheem Mostert, Tajay Spears. I'm looking for a starter here. All right, there we go. Kyron Williams, maybe. Get out while you can, Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, we got A.J. Brown, Marquise Brown, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin, T. Higgins, touchdown king, Nick Westbrook, Akine. And a tight end, we got Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry. So good thing we spent a lot of time on Justin Fields because the rest of this team is not very fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Except for the IDP. The IDP is great.
The IDP is awesome, I noticed. Because they have Trey Hendrickson.
There you go. He's not even a play.
Yes, he is. Stop it.
For who? For who?
Cincinnati. He's going to play in Cincinnati.
All right.
I want to point out, too, with this team, they have the 103 and they have the 108. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be a sneaky producer this year for the Broncos. He might be the vulture that we all kind of dread in the fantasy space. So old school, I guess that's going to benefit you. Other than that, I don't know what you're going to end up doing at the 103 and the 108, but it's going to give you options. I think your wide receiver room is fine with A.J. Brown and T. Higgins. You have Zay Flower, who offers you a decent floor. The high ceiling isn't there that you might not want, but it doesn't really matter because you have the efficiency of A.J. Brown and you have T. Higgins' massive spike games that are going to make up for that.
I like Godwin, too. Even though he's coming off an injury, I'm a big Chris Godwin guy.
I don't know. He makes me nervous.
He makes me nervous for this year, and that they went out and got Egbuka with the 19th overall pick. I really think that was a future pick. So if Godwin can't really pull it together once he is healthy on the field, we're going to start to see him be a little bit phased out going into the 2026 season.
Is it that, or did they just replace Jalen McMillan with somebody way better?
I think that was a best player available pick, and they're looking more to the future. It's going to be the changing of the guard from Mike Evans and Godwin. It's going to be Egbuka. It might not be McMillan, the new wide receiver that replaces Evans might not be on the team yet. But I think it says more about their opinion on Godwin's recovery than it does about Jalen McMillan.
Yeah, I agree.
I disagree
all right.
with that.
So we have the 108. We acquired the 108 by trading away the 203 and the 204.
For this year?
Nice.
This year, yeah. So we moved up from the 203 and the 204. We got the 108. Not a bad deal.
I like that, especially with the IDP. I'm sure that's going to create a different type of tier break if you're looking at an offensive player. I just have to imagine that there are going to be a few IDP players thrown into that top 8 mix.
Yeah, there must be. I would defer to you on that. I think it has to be, because if it wasn't IDP, I wouldn't like that deal. Because what I get in value between 1.8 and 2.2 really is hardly here nor there.
So this is interesting.
I mean, unless you can land like a Tyler Warren.
So the 108 has changed hands multiple times. So it started, he traded for the 108 originally. he gave up his 2026 first, and he acquired the 108 and the 109 for his 2026 first. I like that deal a lot.
Wow.
Then
Okay.
he flipped the 108. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the same deal. Wait a second. Hold on. Because then they traded it back. They flipped the trade.
What's going on?
They flipped the trade. Never mind. They did it. They redid the trade 6 minutes later. Never mind. I take it back. Forget it. Forget it. Rewind. We'll cut that part out. Oh wait, we're live.
But yeah, I think if you're sitting at the 108, you know, that's probably an RJ Harvey or a Caleb Johnson in the 203 in a one quarterback IDP. What you might be looking at a reach out of Cam Scadaboo, you might get a Trey Harris or a Luther Burden. Like I think I'm going and I'm getting a running back that is going to be able to put into your roster and produce right away.
I don't think you'd be looking at a Cam Scadaboo there.
Never know. His IDP always seems like or ADP seems like it's climbing. Like he's kind of sitting in that 2.3 to 2.6 range in the 20 rookie drafts that I've done so far.
That's wrong. Don't draft Scadaboo. Trust me.
Yeah, I agree. Tyrone Tracy. I'm on team Tyrone Tracy. All right. Overall, this team has some work to do for sure.
Yep.
All right.
I like that 108 though, and they're gonna have their pick of the litter there as far as what they want to address on their team.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of guys there. You can look at tight end, you can look at running back, you can look at wide receiver.
Right.
All right, we're ready to move on to Rock and Rye.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm just looking at his draft picks right now. So he, if I'm not missing anything, starts with the 206 and the 210 on a roster, again, that has so much value tied up in quarterback. He has Najee Harris, who I think is going to be the thorn in the side of Mario Hampton all year. Tony Pollard, I really like Tony Pollard this year. I think he's going to fit into that offense well. He has pass catching chops that are going to be able to be a release valve for Cam Ward. So I do like Tony Pollard. Looking at the wide receivers, it starts with Mike Evans. It starts with Juwan Johnson, Cooper Kupp, Terry McLaurin, Jalen McMillan, Jaden Reed, Devontae Smith, Trey Tucker, Garrett Wilson. I really like that room.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
really
it's nice.
Juwan Jennings, sneaky,
and then he's sitting there with Brock Bowers. He has Tucker Kraft and Cade Otton, but you're not starting them over any of your depth wide receivers, and certainly not Brock Bowers.
No, but Tucker Kraft is still good. It's a nice depth pick to have. Yep. Because you can start him on any given day or a bye week or so on and so forth.
Yeah, so Alex, let's hear your thoughts on this team.
Yeah, I'm looking at the quarterbacks. I think we got, obviously the proven guys of Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. I do expect a little bit of a regression from Baker. I don't see another 40 touchdowns or whatever he threw last year, 4,500 yards. I think we'll see a step back there, but he'll still be productive. Still be a solid, back end QB1, high end QB2 for you. But I'm expecting we're going to get breakout season Drake May. We're going to get breakout season JJ McCarthy. I think they both give you that a little bit of a dual threat, especially Drake May. And then McCarthy has the weapons with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, all those guys. So it's another one that if somebody comes knocking looking for a quarterback, I am definitely open for business. I think we can get the most out of Patrick Mahomes just based on the name value, and I think I would rank him, maybe a hot take, but he's my QB3 for 2025.
Ooh.
Out of this group, behind Baker, behind Drake May.
Okay.
I
thought you meant overall. That's hot.
No, that's too hot for me. All right, yeah, the running back room. I think Brian Robinson's sneaky. I think we're gonna get touchdown equity from Brian Robinson this year. It's even though he's not that fun, sexy, exciting running back. He's just gonna give you that, he's gonna give you that grinder role, that first and second down role. goal line role in one of the highest scoring offenses in the league, which is going to bring some value. I like him better in like a redraft setting where I can get him, 9th round or so, ADP wise. But I'm happy to have him here. At least bridge me to maybe we get Trey Benson breaking out at some point in the second half if something happens to James Conner. I think Brian Robinson can at least be that bridge, give a solid RB2, RB3 production till that point, or at least the opportunity to trade for a running back at some point if that's something we want to do. Later.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is if you're going to move off of those quarterbacks, maybe see if you can get a starting running back, a young one, plus a draft pick somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Because I do like Benson a lot. I think he's going to take over here the moment something. The idea of James Conner staying healthy for a whole.
I said that last year, though. I said it last year, and I kept waiting.
I know. Now I'm amending it. Now I'm amending it to the idea that he's going to do it twice.
Yeah, I know.
Is impossible.
I'm on high alert with Najee Harris. If he is like, if he's leading that backfield for those first couple of weeks, fall in the end zone, I am selling for whatever I can get, putting him on the trade block, because at some point, and probably sooner than later, Amari Hampton's going to take over that backfield. So if I can squeeze a little bit of juice out of the Najee Harris asset here, I'm going to do that the first chance I get. We kind of talked about we talked about I mentioned earlier, I like Garrett Wilson this year, just based off that offense is just so condensed down. It's going to be Garrett Wilson catching passes. It's going to be Breece Hall running the ball out of the backfield, and it's going to be Justin Fields running the ball from the quarterback position, and that's it. It's Alan Lazard, it's Mason Taylor, it's Josh Reynolds. I'm not.
What about Malachi Corley?
No.
Next.
No.
That goes into this comment. Tony Pollard, I'd rather have Tony Danza.
That's you and me both, man. I'm not a Pollard fan at all.
I think he can give you that same thing I talked about with Brian Robinson. Just give you that steady RB2. You know what you're going to get, RB2, RB3 production. Get us through. If we can get some big weeks from our wide receivers, our quarterbacks, got Brock Bowers at tight end, I think we're doing just fine. And running back, just get us to the point where we can be like, all right, we're halfway through the year. I'm ready to make a deal and go, be a buyer. I don't know if this league has a trade deadline or whatever, but be a buyer at some point during the season. Those guys can get us to that point where we can evaluate our roster and be like, okay, I want to go upgrade the running back position, go get myself a league winner.
Yeah. It's a good team to be in the thick of it, I think, well into the season. It's not quite good enough to win yet.
No.
Like to win the whole kit and caboodle, but a couple good moves about 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yep.
And if you just say, F them picks and give up your draft capital, you might find yourself in the championship.
Yeah, it is one of those in a 10-team one quarterback league. Like you have to really be a salesman here, where you're trying to consolidate some of these vets and pairing them with a quarterback and finding the ability to go and get a game changer. Even if you get one at a single position, like you have Brock Bowers and you have a quarterback, if you can go and get a stud running back or another, a stud wide receiver, then sure, that gets you where you make the playoffs. And then, like we all know in the fantasy game, if you make the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But as for selling picks, Sam, I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm a little bit more risk adverse. I think I'd be looking at trying to maybe sell some people off and get into the future. That we've seen some of these other teams that you're probably not beating unless all of a sudden they have massive injury issues.
Some of them, yeah. I mean, I'll agree with that to an extent.
Yeah, this team is really teetering on like that 7th place range, I think.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think this team one or two things go wrong, this team's going to go down the tank. Hard.
Because Alex, I didn't hear you when you were reading off the team or the settings. I didn't hear you say tight end premium. So I don't know if anybody in the chat can verify if there is a tight end premium. Looking at Brock Bowers' points, I'm assuming that there's not.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it.
I had it pulled up.
I don't think
believe it is.
Okay.
I don't think it can be if he had 258 last year. That shouldn't be that shouldn't be enough to make him beat Garrett Wilson by just 10.
Cubes answered us here, so thank you for that.
Okay. All right. 7th place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go against you guys. I don't know if whoever Rock and Rye is watching, but you got at least one fan on the panel here. Right. I say you make a move for a running back, and you're hot to trot.
Well, I think what you got to do is you got to just kind of see what happens. How is this team looking? A month, 2 months, 6 weeks into the season, and then we make our decision. Are we going for it, or are we gonna kind of reload a little bit? I don't think we need. Yeah. There's no scenario where I'm pulling the plug and rebuilding completely with this team, but I think might want to do like a little retool.
Yeah, you gotta see where you are at least halfway through the season. That's why I said if you were gonna make a move and try to go in for it, it's at the 2/3 mark where you feel like, okay, I'm gonna be in the playoffs. So as long as I'm gonna be in the playoffs, I'm gonna make some extra noise.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're mostly on the same page though.
Yeah.
All right. Warriors. Anybody want to take the lead on the Warriors?
Warriors, come out and play. I'll take the Warriors.
All right.
I am the Warrior. Okay, we got Josh Allen. There's where he's been hiding. Gardner Minshew is there. He can throw the football over them mountains. Geno Smith, who replaced Gardner Minshew. James Conner, the aforementioned, and Amari DeMarcado, both from Arizona. DeMarcado is pretty much a nothing, I think. Although I guess if Connor's out for any sort of extended period, maybe Amari's going to back up Benson. Josh Jacobs, who just keeps doing Josh Jacobs things. He's pretty rock steady. McCaffrey, that's going to be the big question mark. Isaac Pacheco and Pierre Strong's still playing football. I like McCaffrey this year. I'm going to go on record and say it. I spent most of the offseason saying it's a degenerative disease. He's never going to be the same. He's going to keep missing things. And for some reason, I just woke up one day and decided that was not true. And I was like, he's going to come back and do Christian McCaffrey things at least for one more year, confounding everyone. And then next year, when he goes first overall again, then he won't play.
I want to know what Warriors bought with the 102. Was this a trade in the past, Alex? I don't know if you're able to find that. I was clicking it and can't find it, but it had to have been something a couple years ago that now kind of crashed and burned.
Like what they purchased with the 102?
Yeah, 100%.
I see.
Because now, just looking at this team, like you have James Conner, Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey. This is probably a team that needs to go into a rebuild. He doesn't have the 102, so his first pick is the 202. He has an extra 7th in 2026, and that's it. So I think this is one of the teams in the league that just kind of has to go scorched earth, and he's gonna be donating for a little bit, but
Right.
That might be something when to fish and we see Kings kind of start to rebuild. That might be his time to make a move.
Yeah, start picking the carcass.
Yeah.
For those other teams. Let's talk wide receivers. DJ Chark, and Gabby Davis. I mean, what a way to start off the wide receiver core there. Ryan Flournoy also. DeAndre Hopkins is old. Alan Lazard is old. Adonai Mitchell's useless. Michael Pittman is useless. Although I guess we'll see with the two of them what happens with a different quarterback. But I'm not a fan of either. I never have been. Shaheed, I like. I'm in the minority on that one. Jameson Williams, I like. I think he's going to have an even better season this year than he did last. And Mike Williams, useless. So that's a lot of useless guys on the wide receiver core here that could, I mean, honestly just be dropped because nobody's going to trade for them. Conklin, Pitts, and Ben Sinnott at tight end. Nothing to write home about. I'll just play the game where this might be the year for Pitts, I guess.
2028.
And we're gonna need a new kicker because Justin Tugger isn't expected to play anytime soon. He's gonna be sitting at home tugging. But the IDP here.
Whoa, the IDP is so good.
Let me tell you about the IDP. He's got Latu, and he's got Sherwood.
Can you read that there's Crosby there? I don't know if I have to help you out with that one.
He's got George Landry is there. The IDP looks fantastic for sure.
Yeah, so unfortunately with this team, there's only one wide receiver that is truly startable for you, and that's Jameson Williams. And I think the verdict is still out on him of what he's going to be able to do this year. Is he going to be utilized how he was with Ben Johnson with last season? So like I said earlier, this is one team that I'm looking at. Josh Allen, my vet running backs, like everybody's got to go. You just got to bite the bullet and donate for a couple of years on here.
Yeah, this one is.
Would you move Josh Allen?
I think
at this point,
one QB league. Yeah, one QB league. Yeah, gotta do it. Yeah, this is pretty gross. This is right up there with the future as one of the worst. It's probably the worst, worst or second worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, if looking at it, like you're going to fish, and I know that he's got a lot of value at quarterback right now, but he also has draft picks, and you're trying to work something out there. I know in a small league, I don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt when I'm trying to sell a stud. So you kind of got to sit strong and get proper value, but there might be a couple of these vets that you got to sell for 80 cents on the dollar. And I don't know what determines the 101 for them, if it's points for or just record, but that might be one that you got to sell a little bit cheaper than market value to just kick this off and be the first one to tank and build picks before anybody else does.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the one thing I can say is you don't have to be in an immediate hurry to sell guys off because you don't want to accidentally win games. I don't think you're going to have that problem.
I don't think so either. I think the problem is I don't know if this guy's very active. He's made one trade all off season. He traded a 5th round pick for Quinn Williams. That was it. And I can't find what he did with the 102 because I can't find any transactions prior to when the league turns over to 2025.
Okay.
So the chat's gonna have to let us know that one.
Did a lot of trading in 23. Looks
Wait,
like.
How do you find that?
It's on the roster.
Oh, on the side or how they acquire them. Okay, but it doesn't show you the actual transaction.
No,
Okay.
it does not.
Well, that's unfortunate.
If
If you move this
was another
sleeper,
platform, you could just click that word trade and it would tell you.
or you can just click on the player; it'll show you the entire history.
Right? Yeah.
So
wouldn't that be a great idea?
And we wouldn't have fumbled through the first hour of the show trying
Right.
to figure all this shit out.
That's right. So the consensus, I'm pretty sure, is that the Fish just owns this league, both literally and figuratively.
I think he's got some competition. I got to look at the Fish again, but how do you say it? Mykonos?
Yeah, I think that's Mykonos.
Sneaky favorite team for me.
Well, Mykonos has won this league 7 times.
Yeah, I think he's in line to maybe do it again.
Trade the 108. I'm looking back a year. So this was a trade that must have happened a few years ago. I don't know how far you can go back. Let's try 720. So it doesn't go back that far, but yeah, this had to have been a trade that happened a few years ago and it came back to bite him in the ass.
Which one's that?
The 102.
Oh,
You found it?
No, I didn't find it. I searched back, almost 2 years, and it didn't say anything under DeFish or Warriors, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think it shows anything prior to 2025. So if I remember correctly, I've had leagues on MFL before. Every year you have to it gives you a new website for the league and updates or whatever.
right.
Okay.
I don't remember how you go back and look at prior year transactions.
Okay, so you think Mykonos is going to challenge the Fish?
Yeah, worst case scenario, top 3 team, easy. I think they can win it.
Okay. And I think that team is the Kings.
Ooh.
I think Kings is going to give DeFish a run for his money. I think Kings and Mykonos are going to end up battling it out. Depending how the standings go, they might meet in the second round of the playoffs.
Now with the Kings, we're assuming we're going to make some deals, right? We're going to go and get a receiver. We're going to go get a tight end.
Yeah, that's right. I think right now, unless you can go and get a top 3 tight end, I just want somebody who's going to be able to get touchdowns or they're going to be able to get volume. And I think Jake Ferguson is more than capable of doing that. It is the wide receivers. I think JSN is going to just build upon his second season. Cortland Sutton's going to be there. Hopefully there isn't any tight end or touchdown regression. As a Bronco fan, I want to see them flourish and kind of take a shot at the AFC West.
Yeah, I don't know about the Kings, man. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I can't get there with Jake Ferguson. I think you're much higher on Jake Ferguson than I am. I don't think Jake Ferguson is worth anything.
Well, I mean,
especially with George Pickens there now. Any touchdowns that was going to go to Jake Ferguson is now going to go to George Pickens.
There's
fair.
I don't think it's fair at all. Because George Pickens sucks.
So does Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, but he sucks less.
He's got Jake Ferguson and Dalton Schultz on the same team. It's the same guy.
Okay.
They both benefited from a high volume offense. Dak Prescott, most underrated quarterback in the league.
Then let me sell you on a guy for next year, Luke Schoonmaker, because they're not going to sign Ferguson, and it's just going to be the triplet of Schultz and Ferguson. That's it, right?
Just Cowboys tight end. Plug and play.
All right, I'm going to say it one more time because I'm the minority. Rock and Rye is going to be there.
Ooh. I like Rock and Rye. All right.
They're going to be there, and they're going to make a move for a running
there,
back
be
towards
square.
the end of the season, and they're going to make some noise.
With Drake May as their starting quarterback.
Okay, Patriots fan. Because it sure won't be Baker Mayfield and his 5 million yards.
So Warriors gave up 24-1. Warriors. So Jacobs in a 2 for 2 firsts is how I'm reading that, unless, reading is a skill and I lack at that.
That's why you talk about football.
That's right. Is Manuel saying rock and rye is good, or rocks in rye is good?
Well, both. Rock and rye is good, and rocks in rye is fine. All right, so that's that's my pick to challenge to fish. I'm going with rock and rye. You're going Kings.
Yep.
You're going
Mykonos. Yeah, Team Mykonos right here. All right, I think that's so. This league, I believe, if I remember correctly, ordered an in-season check-in and then another after the season check-in. So we get to follow this league all the way through. We're going to find out what things are looking like during the season. We're going to find out who wins the championship.
I'm anxious to see who ended up with what rookies.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing.
That'll be fun to look back and see how their rookie draft goes. I'd love to do one that's a tough time for us because we're going to get a lot of orders at that time. But I'd love to look at their rookie draft shortly after it happens or right before it. Or if they could do a live rookie draft, we could just sit here and that would be cool.
Yeah, maybe we could switch places and we could watch and talk a bunch of shit.
They can do our if it was on Sleeper, because I don't think you can even do live drafts on NFL. I don't even know. You could put it on the screen and we can sit back like we're the ESPN crew and just talk about their rookie drafts and shit on all their picks while it's live.
Right. That'd be awesome. These guys will finally pay up on the somebody's
got to be Mel Kiper and keep screaming about Shedeur Sanders the whole time.
What the hell is Mel Kiper?
It sure shit isn't going to be me screaming about Shedeur Sanders.
Me neither.
All right, I guess it's on me. I'll do it.
There we go.
All right.
Well, that wraps it up. We'll see these guys at some point during the season.
Awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and next time we'll have a little bit more familiarity with MFL, and we won't fumble so much.
Yeah, we'll do a dry run, and we'll look at the rookie picks and whatnot before we even get on here, and we'll know how they got to what team they got to.
Well, remember Michael from the beginning said he demanded a refund and he left the chat, but he ended up back. He came back.
Well, that's good.
All right. Thanks, guys.